Hello everyone. In my previous video, I worked on finding the location of missing data in a data frame to understand the data itself, considering the location of missing data. You can find a link to that video in the description below. In this video, I will touch on some basic commands as regards to working with missing data. So here it is. Our data frame with some names and their marks for some courses with some missing data. The very first thing I would like to do is remove columns or rows with missing data. So I'm going to use drop an A and then axis is 1. So let me show you here, axis is 1. When axis is 1, I'm going to go, so it checks all columns and then it will go from left to right direction. So, and then again, I'm not going to change the original data frame. That's why I save it into a new variable called t1. So it will check all columns and drops the ones with at least one missing element. And then this is the result. So ID is not dropped, is kept because there is no missing data in this column. And then other columns are dropped because there was some missing data in those columns. And then we can use how, which is equal to all. It means that drop columns with all elements missing. So this all means all elements are missing there. So and then those columns are going to be dropped. That's why we have no column dropped here, because none of them had all elements missing. Another thing is I can put a condition called thresh, which is 4 over here. This means this keeps columns with more than 4 non-missing elements. Thresh means is in fact number of non-missing elements. So here when you look at ID, we have 5 non-missing elements. Art, we have 4 non-missing elements and they are kept. So whenever you use thresh 4, it means that it will keep the columns with more than this number of non-missing elements. So now we can go to the next one. So as you can see here, axis is 1 for all of them. It means that it will check all columns and then it will move, the direction is from left to right. When axis is 0, let me show you here again. So it will check all rows and the direction is from top to bottom, right? So if you put axis 0 over here, it will check all rows and then will drop the rows with at least one missing element. And then I'm going to show you one example over here, which is very helpful, sometimes very practical for some applications. So df drop an A, axis is rows, the same as 0, axis 0, and then subset, I have specified some columns. It means that it drop rows if there is missing data in either of these specified columns, which is mathematics and arts, and then you see the results. There is no missing data in these 2 columns. Sometimes instead of dropping, you would like to fill missing data in a data frame. So the most basic one is df.fill 0, which means puts 0 at all points with missing data. Or we could use df.fill 0 and then in place equal true. So I did it this way because I didn't want to change the original data frame. And then we could use ffill, which means fills forward missing data. Again, I'm going to show you 2 things here. Axis is 1, it means that it consider so axis is 1 means it goes from left to right. So forward means like here, backward means here, because the direction is from left to right. So right side is forward, left side is in fact backward, so back side. So, and another thing is limit is 1. It means that it fills only one next missing data. So as you can see the result, here we had a missing element. Now it is the same as this one because I have used ffill, and then we had a missing data over here, and then we have this element over here because we used ffill, and then the limit is 1. That's why this missing data is untouched. Let's use backfill over here. So when I use backfill, so I have, this is our original data frame, and then I'm going to use backfill with no limit access is 1. So if you look at this one, I have a missing element here, so 19. So this must be replaced with 19. So this is 19. And then I have missing element over here. I'm using backfill, so they will be 18, as you can see over here. So I would like, so these are the very basic ones, you know. You could use interpolate as well. But the thing is, filling missing data is a decision. There is no equation, there is no convention. It depends on your understanding of your data set. So here we have some practical operations here, again, based on your knowledge of the data set. Imagine your decision, because your domain knowledge tells you you can replace, you can put 0 in the column for mathematics if you had missing data. So for that specific column, you use fill in A and then you put 0 over there. Or maybe your decision is, no, instead of putting 0, I would like to put the average mark for the rest of the class. So here, that's why, so we had a missing element over here for Glenn and Tim. And so they are replaced with, or they are filled with, the average mark of the rest of the class, because the average of 18, 19 and 20 is 19. That's why you have 19 over here. And the next thing is, you know, instead of fill and A, you could use replace. And remember, replace can be used not only for missing data, but also for any element in the data frame. So it means that when I use df.replace np.nan1, it means that missing data is going to be replaced with 1. Or I could have used df.fillinA1. Or you could have a dictionary, which means that missing data is going to be replaced with 0 and 10 is going to be replaced with 1 over here. And the next thing is the next example I have put here. So again, you would like to do this kind of replacement in a specific column, for example, for mathematics. Again, replace and then np.nan and then 0, or average mark of the rest of the class. So again, so fill in A and replace, you know, you could use either of them. The next thing I would like to show you is calculations with missing data. For example, the question here is, for an example, you know, I would like to find the average mark for each student. So disregarding missing data. For example, for Glenn, I would like to know what is the average mark for Glenn, or what is the average mark for Maria, disregarding missing elements. So as you can see, I'm moving from left to right because I'm gonna find the average mark for these courses from left to right. So access must be 1. And then I'm gonna find the average value, so I'm gonna use df.min. And then I don't need these two non-numeric elements. That's why numeric only must be true. When you do this, you get the average value, the average mark for each student, disregarding missing data. At the end, I would like to give you 2 practice questions. First, return the average mark for any student who missed the math exam. So, in fact, I would like you to find the average mark for Glenn and Tim because they missed math exams. But you know, you can tell the answer by just looking. But the point is, if you had a data set with 1,000 rows, what would you do? So I would like you to write a proper code. And another thing is, Maria missed the exam for arts. What is the average mark for the rest of the class? So these are 2 practice questions, and then in the description below, I will put my code to answer these questions. So that's it. A very basic, a list of basic commands as regards to working with missing data. So if you have any question or comments or anything, please leave a comment. And I hope you have enjoyed. I wish you all the best. Take care. Bye.